When you shop for clothes, you try on lots of different styles and colors to know what's right for you. But when it comes to buying marketing tactics for your brand, most marketers are stuck with one or two choices. You see, your ad agency or your internal marketing department may burn through several weeks and several thousands of dollars to create trade show booths or sales materials or websites, only to discover that the message or the voice or the tone simply doesn't fit your brand. But what if you could try on lots of messages or styles or emotional triggers before you buy? Well, you can with ad-like objects. Now, a lot of the B2B brands I work with don't even run advertising, but we all know what an ad looks like. So this exercise I'm going to describe is a really great way for you and your marketing team to explore the good and the bad and the ugly of your messaging using this sort of visual articulation. Now, ad-like objects just use stock photos or things that you can shoot right from your iPhone. It has fake body copy, so creating them is relatively inexpensive and quick. In an earlier video titled Key Messaging, Your Key to Success, I talked about the power of rational and emotional-based statements. Ad-like objects are visual companions to these messages. Now let's look at some examples from a manufacturer that builds kitchen cabinetry for multifamily housing, such as apartments or condos. And by the way, I changed the name for this video. This first grouping of ad-like objects is based on the key message, Cabco cabinets bring you the latest styles. Now notice the message is about stylish cabinets, but the tone and voice are quite different from each other. This next grouping is based on a slightly different key message. Cabco has the latest in-demand colors. It's the promise of cool colors served up with different voices and tones. So this ad-like object exercise is a great way for you and your team to really look at a lot of visual articulations of a lot of key messages. Most of the time I offer up little stickers for people to go and vote on the things that they really want to pay attention to and talk about later on. Now, some of the things to consider is in brand voice, I would encourage you to look for things that are either exquisite or a little outrageous, because frankly, the stuff that falls in the middle ultimately is not going to get noticed. Another aspect that's really, I think, pretty cool is to start logging preferences, getting opinions from your team and deciding on whether or not you want to do things like call your competition out by name or use a certain type of humor, what a call to action might be, things like that. Because here's the deal. You're going to put that information in a communications guide, which we'll talk about in a future video. But that information is the very stuff that's going to help the people who are going to build out your next branding communications do tactics that really, really fit your brand. Let's face it, it's really hard to articulate what you're looking for in a tone or a voice for your brand. So I encourage you to find a creative resource that can generate lots of options for you, because frankly, you'll know it when you see it. Now, if you do this exercise before you create your next marketing communications, you'll find that you can give direction that results in tactics that are better, done faster, done cheaper, and most importantly, perfectly reflect your brand.